pencil and ask for our autographs. And I can't tell you how that touched me. I can't tell you how that made me feel.
Both Sergeant Phillips and Colonel Forrester said to tell their families they loved them. The only thing each requested was more letters from home. And
Driver Institute. All across America. Want you to test drive your new career? Call toll-free 1-800-242-SEMI and make the money you've always wanted. With hands-on experience and guidance from CDI's qualified instructors, you'll be on your way to becoming independently successful. All training is done right here in Middle Tennessee. Financial aid and job placement is available. So stop spinning your wheels and call toll-free 1-800-242-SEMI.
Hi, I'm Cindy, and our staff is on hand now to take your call. With short-term programs available on a full or part-time basis, financial assistance available for those who qualify, and a terrific in-house placement program, Commercial Driver Institute is ready to launch your career as a highly paid tractor-trailer driver. For 17 years, we've been putting people on the road to success. Now it's your turn. Give me a call.
The sexiest game show in the world on Entertainment Tonight.
Thousands jam Centennial Park in one of the biggest shows of patriotism Nashville has ever seen. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this News Channel 5 special.
During the next hour, we're going to bring you the sights and sounds of Operation Desert Star, a Music City tribute for our fighting men and women.
You know, Harry, it really wasn't a big surprise for me to see all the people come out to support our troops, because years ago at the end of the Vietnam War, this station sponsored a Welcome Home POW rally, and, you know, we had a good turnout for that, too, when it wasn't so popular. So I'm just pleased that we played a small part in this wonderful tribute to the men and women serving in the Gulf.
It was, and the stars, Chris, who make Music City proud all around the world, have told us of their feelings when they're on the road performing before so many thousands of people and audiences, of how they've included a tribute to the fighting men and women, and how much it means to those people out there across America.
You know, the strong sense of patriotism was evident all day, especially during the grand finale, which we will show you a little bit later. But first, let's kick it off with the first big act of the day, William Lee Golden.
God for America. And for America's strong leadership, we commend them for all their bravery for our leaders and our troops. And thank God for the families and their friends. And thank God for kids. If it weren't for kids, have you ever thought there wouldn't be no Santa Claus? Or look what the sword just brought, thank God for kids. shine in a smile. Did you ever stop to think or wonder why the nearest thing to heaven is a child? When you get down on your knees tonight, thank the Lord for his guiding light, and pray they'll turn out right. Thank God for kids. Ooh, thank God for grandkids too.
I feel real strong about this cause. My bride, her father spent 22 years in the United States Army and retired out of the 101 1st Airborne Division. So we've been following it close, and we have a lot of respect for our great president and all of our leaders and the military that's there doing such a wonderful job. So I think that it's time that something like this was done. You know, we've got to fight for freedom sometimes.
Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty, above the fruited plain. America, God shed his grace on thee, and crowns thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Thank you.
Smile, 1, 2, and gotcha. Okay.
I'm Tony Aiello with the families of Operation Desert Star on a sunny day for them to meet a star and feel like one.
I feel great. I feel like I've never felt before. I feel like I'm special.
Register.
About 1,000 military families came out for the VIP treatment.
Military seating. This will get you into it. The fenced-in area in front of the stage.
When strangers gathered as friends to send support across the miles.
I think it's really great. It's really terrific. It's a big morale builder.
Not only for the families, but for their sons and daughters serving in the Gulf. Jeff Condon will soon be getting mail from a stranger.
And he's 82nd Airborne, and he's in Saudi, somewhere in Saudi is all I know.
You signed up for people to send him mail?
Yeah, I wasn't going to, but I decided a little bit more mail never hurts.
Each star has 6 labels. They'll pick a star, adopt a soldier or sailor. Then they'll go to the postcard area.
And that's where Heidi Kettenring penned a postcard and sent it to a soldier she's never met.
Dear Sergeant Bowling, we are so proud of the effort you are giving for our country. I wanted you to know that I support what you are doing, and I hope you remain safe and come home very soon. God bless you.
This is our best friend. We love them very much.
A heartfelt wish that takes on special meaning on the day of Operation Desert Star, the day the ground war started. Tony Aiello, News Channel 5.
Isn't that just great? You know, some 4,000 soldiers were adopted at yesterday's rally, and organizers say people are still clamoring for more names.
That's really amazing, Chris. An estimated 10,000 people showed up for Operation Desert Star, and planning for an event that large really can make for a lot of sleepless nights.
Well, it can be a nightmare, and it has been in certain instances, but no more so than any other.
How did you pull it together? What were some of the things you had to consider?
Well, we had to consider the weather. We had to consider the staging. We had to consider, most of all, being able to get things donated, because our goal when we started was to be sure we were left with money to make a donation to the families.
How many different groups of people did you have to pull together to get it set up?
Well, there's staging, and there's lights, and there's tents, and there's porta potties, and there's concessions, and there's permits, and there's straw for the ground, and chairs from the fairgrounds, and park benches, and golf carts, and Winnebagos, and portable phones, and walkie-talkies. How much more you want?
Any glitches along the way?
Oh, there are always stops and starts, but it's just because maybe something was going to come at 10 and they thought you said 1, and everybody sits down and waits to 1. It's just the way the name of the beast, you know.
Has there been one little thing, though, that you think, boy, this is just one little thing, I wish I could get this one solved and would be done with it?
Well, I have to be real honest with you. It's been great working with volunteers. It's a little more difficult because if it's just your crew that you are paying and that's their job, they come to work at the appointed time and they leave at the appointed time. Our volunteers have been marvelous, and we've had too many some days and not enough others. That's been the glitch that we could have solved, but there was no way to solve it.
Well, I think this is the most wonderful thing about this is the number of volunteers that have come forward to help with it.
It's taken 400 people, volunteers, on site today just to make it happen, to say nothing of the number of volunteers, feeding those volunteers, transporting those volunteers, all that sort of stuff.
What about just logistics and numbers of volunteers you had prior to getting to this point, and how many man-hours put together?
Well, I don't do math in my head at those large numbers very well, Harry, but I have to tell you, we donated the office space in my building over on 18th, and we had anywhere from 5 to 50 volunteers a day for 3 weeks.
So what are you going to do after this is over with?
I'm going to catch a plane and go to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and produce the Honda Golf Classic. Just another one.
You never stop, do you?
It never stops.
Gets together in strength like this for the purpose that we're here today, to support our people over there. There's nothing that feels better to me, and I'm sure to you, than when we all get together and feel good. So help me sing a little bit here. I want to live in a place where the name big gets Billy. Turn on the radio and hear my man Willie. Friday night football, stand up and cheer. Go where I want to go, I'm a free man here. I'm an American boy. Drive me a Chevy, ain't got no Peugeot. My older brother was a G.I. Joe. I'm red, white, and blue from my head to my toes. I'm an American boy. My little brother watched Saturday morning cartoons. I mowed the front lawn in the afternoon, fixing up my car, working for a living. Drive down to the seashore, looking at the pretty women. I'm an American boy. Drive me a Chevy, ain't got no Peugeot. My older brother was a G.I. Joe. I'm red, white, and blue from my head to my toes. I'm an American boy. Yes, I am. I'm an American boy. I'll die an American. I'm an American boy. Drive me a Chevy, ain't got no Peugeot. My older brother people over there. Thank you very much. And say hi to all the soldiers.
You gotta know how to pony, like pony Maroni. To the mashed potato, to the alligator. Put your hands on your hips, yeah. Let your backbone slip. Do that 1, 2, 6, like mine.
Well, I feel dear well enough, cold and deep inside like March from a big break. And the stab of loneliness, sure painful, I may never shake.
Which is better, Captain D's or the other guys? Now there's no comparison, because now, along with your Captain D's favorites, you can also enjoy the Captain's Grill. Serving sizzling broiled shrimp, broiled fish fillets, and broiled chicken breast. All with your choice of side dishes and all at prices that leave the other guys looking on in disbelief. Visit the Captain's Grill, new at Captain D's, the great little seafood place.
Driving the right truck means a lot to a man. I mean, it's got to be a man's truck, like this GMC Sierra.
The full-size pickup with the highest resale value plus the most V6 power.
GMC Sierra treats me like a king. If I could find a woman like that.
Sierra, with $500 cash back as low as $11,315.
Someday that gal will be standing next to me, and I'll be ready.
Now at your Central Tennessee GMC truck dealer.
From Walt Disney Pictures, a young man taking on the high seas. Now, in the ultimate test of survival, he's finding the power and the courage to meet the challenge. Shipwrecked, rated PG.
Starts Friday.
You know when it's right. You know when you feel it, baby. You hold it, you hear it, you taste it, it's right. You got the right one, baby. Is this irrepressibly lovable, unsurpassably quotable, and intimately soulful? You got the right one, baby.
With 100% NutraSweet.
You know, Chris, of all the things I've covered in Nashville, I've never seen as much entertainment, I don't think, in one place on one stage at one time. There was a lot of it there yesterday.
Absolutely, absolutely. And every hour or so, local ministers or community leaders would go to the stage and offer words of comfort and hope for everyone.
Oh, God, please protect them. Allow them to return to these outstretched loving arms. Show them the way.
Guard us, O God, from calamity and injury, and grant us peace, your most precious gift. Send your comfort to all who are in pain and anxiety, whose thoughts are with loved ones in the Gulf so many miles away, and may they soon be reunited in health and happiness.
Give them courage, give them strength, touch them with our love.
A line in the desert sand has been drawn. Everyone in the world is on one side of this line or the other side. But you, God our Father, bridge this line. You embrace all of us in your strong, loving arms.
We ask as well, O Lord, that you enlighten with your wisdom and sustain with your power those in authority. President Bush, Secretary Cheney, General Powell, General Schwarzkopf, and all the other leaders and decision makers who are entrusted with our safety and the guardianship of our liberties.
It is for peace that we pray. This and all we ask in your name as we sing your praise. Alleluia, alleluia, amen.
In the east, in the cradle of the world, lies a jewel desired of kings. And even though it's just a diamond in the rough, there will come a time when its light will shine. Don't you know that city of Jerusalem is a beacon to the world? It holds the key that opens ancient prophecy to the sons of grace. It's a holy place. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Pray for the peace of the world. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Pray for the peace of the world. And as we part, don't allow your heart to fail. I'll come again for you one day. Just keep your eyes looking to Jerusalem, and as you rise each day, don't forget to pray. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Pray for the peace of the world. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Pray for the peace of the world. Pray for Jerusalem. Pray for the world. Pray for Jerusalem. Pray for the world. In the east, in the cradle of the world, lies a jewel desired of kings. And even though it's just a diamond in the rough, there will come a time when its light will shine. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Pray for the peace of the world. Pray for Jerusalem. Pray for the world. Pray for Jerusalem. Pray for the world. Pray for Jerusalem. We have got to pray for the world. You and I must pray for Jerusalem. Pray for the
So as we gather here today, in our prayers, in our heart, we believe very strongly that they too will be safe, that they too will come home very, very soon.
Going deep inside like March from a big break, and the stab of loneliness sure painful. I may never shake. You might say that I was taking it hard when you wrote me off with a call. Don't you wait till that'll hide the sorrow. I may lay right down and bawl. Well, the race is on. You're gone right up the backstretch. Heartache going to the inside. My tears are holding back. Trying not to fall. My heart's out of the running. Who loves scratch for another's sake? The race is on. Looks like heartache. And the winner loses all. One day I adventured in love, never once suspecting what the final results would be. Now I live in fear, waking up each morning, thinking that you're gone from me. Well, there's aching and pain in my heart for the day with the one I hated to face. Somebody new came up and went her all wound up in a 14 place. Well, the races. Here comes right up the back street. I'm going to the inside. My tears are holding back. They're trying not to fall. My heart's out of the running. Who'll stretch for another set? The race is on. Looks like our day. Hey, now when the blues is on. Hey, hey, winter keeps a losing it all.
Could this have been done during the Vietnam War era? Would we have seen anything like this back then? What's changed?
Well, I think we learned a lot. I mean, the government's turned the war over to the military and let them conduct the war, and I think that's a major plus. And I think the American citizens in this war understand that they want to salute, applaud, pat our soldiers on the back, thank them for service. And in many ways, we took the war out on the Vietnam veterans as a group, which was unfair, and that's a shame. And I think we learned our lesson.
You know, putting this whole event together was an ambitious task, especially since the idea was conceived just 3 short weeks ago.
Marketing staff, Susan Thomas and Marion Eichmann, were having a brainstorming session and trying to figure out what they could do, what the Tennessean could do that would honor the troops and be a salute to the troops. And so they came up with this idea and took it to John Siegenthaler, the publisher, and he began to talk to people in the community, and in that process he found out the Chamber of Commerce was trying to do something. People on Music Row were trying to put together an effort, and nothing had gotten fashioned very far. The mayor was trying to do something on the waterfront. So John convened a meeting for all these people, and everybody contributed their ideas, and that's how we came up with yesterday's program.
You know, you just got to say George Jones just keeps getting better.
He never sounded better than yesterday. What was the little story you told you backstage?
Well, he said, I've never sung in the daylight before. I think he was kidding. I think he had to.
Been a while.
Coming up, a war story from Cousin Minnie.
And later on, the Man in Black.
On second thought, I guess I do like to brag, because I'm mighty proud of that ragged old flag.
What does comfortable living mean to you? Oakwood Homes. Where can you find affordable housing with quality construction? Oakwood Homes. Where are you guaranteed superior insulation, wiring, and plumbing? Oakwood Homes. You'll also find Oakwood Homes provide the security and safety features for peace of mind at an affordable price. Oakwood Homes, saluting those servicemen and women in the Persian Gulf and wishing them a quick and safe return.
Why is the 1991 Honda Accord America's best-selling car for the 2nd year in a row?
That's easy. It's Accord's great look.
I'd say dependability.
Smooth line.
Accord's handling and response.
It's terrific trade-in value.
Or its very affordable price.
Now I'll buy that.
One thing's for sure, when it comes to value, America's in Accord. For the best deal on America's best-selling car, see your 5-star Honda dealer. Darrell Walter, Trickett, Honda Car Village, and Capital. And register to win a Hawaii vacation for 2.
This is a Channel 5 Black History Salute, brought to you by Shoney's.
He founded the final resting place for some of Nashville's most prominent black leaders. Preston Taylor established Greenwood Cemetery in 1888. Born into slavery, Taylor rose above his humble beginnings to form several of his own businesses. He is said to have been one of Nashville's most powerful black leaders. Channel 5 salutes Preston Taylor.
Order a seafood dinner at Shoney's and you get a square meal. Order seafood at a fast food restaurant and you get a square fish. Where do they catch square fish anyway? Here's your dinner. This isn't what I ordered. Where'd he go? I knew I should have gone to Shoney's.
How is everything?
Well.
Good.
He did it again!
Honey, you must
Doug Stone, of course, one of the great new faces in country music, just one of the many that took the stage at Operation Desert Star.
But some veterans of both country music and the war were also in the spotlight.
I'm just so proud to be here. Well, if that ain't a fine bunch of folks, I'd like to shake hands with all the ladies and kiss all the fellas. No, I ain't been kissed in so long I forgot whether it's done by drawing in your breath or blowing it out. I can remember World War I. You see, I was born in 1912, and when World War I came along, my mother was very active in selling Liberty Bonds, they called them then. She used to take me around, put me up on a wagon bed, and make me sing. And I would sing, if he can fight like he can love, well, then it's goodbye, Germany. And everybody laughed and give money for the Liberty Bonds, you know, to keep me from singing anymore.
I wandered so aimless, life filled with sin. I wouldn't let my dear Savior in. Then Jesus came like a stranger in the night. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. Everybody, I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light.
I would let my dear Savior in. And then, like a blind man of God, gave back his life.
Praise the Lord, I saw the light. Sing it with us. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. Come on, guitar man.
Like a blind man, I wandered alone. Worries and fears I claimed for my own. And Jesus came like an angel in the night. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. Praise the Lord, I saw the light.
They're doing a great thing, you know, and they're standing up for our country, and that's what this is all about.
I remember when I was in Germany in the war, I was glad to have something like this to do.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Hey, Billy.
Well, it's been a while. It's been a while. This is great. I love it. I'm glad I got to be here. I count it a privilege.
Yeah. How about you, Johnny?
Oh, I've never seen anything like this, and I think it's great. And I just hope that they realize and understand how we feel about them and know that we're doing this out of our love for them and that we're supporting them as hard and fast as we can.
I served in the Korean conflict in the early 50s, and it's just great to see the country stand behind our boys and girls right now.
I don't never let a night pass that I don't pray for them. We just want them home real quick.
We're going to do you one now. It's called the Hardin County Line.
Out on Highway 64, said a Mustang and a GTU. Yeah, they were revving engines and talking trash. Well, they'd run for titles, they'd run for cash. All the way to that Hardin County line. Well, there'd be no backing out of the earth. Yeah, they were bound to see who was the best. They
see the smoke, you can smell the gas. All the way, all the way, down a Hardin County line. Help us out now, come on. I never knew who won the race. They disappeared without a trace. Every time I drive that stretch of road, I feel a chill run through my bones. All the way, all the way, that a Hardin County line. All the way, all the way, that a Hardin County line. God bless America and Desert Storm. God bless.
Support President Bush, support Secretary Cheney, General Powell, General Schwarzkopf, every man and woman in the Persian Gulf. We especially want to tell those native sons and daughters of Tennessee, we love them, we're proud of them, we wish them a safe and quick trip home. Come home soon.
And from a distance, the ocean meets the stream, and the eagle takes to flight. And from a distance, there...
3 years I suffered with chronic pain, and I was prescribed a variety of medications. Anti-inflammatories, butabitol, ibuprofen, muscle relaxers, pain pills. Finally, I discovered United Chiropractic. If you're in pain, get rid of the pills.
Get help from the doctors at United Chiropractic. See the yellow pages for the United office nearest you. We'll see you today.
For picking up or hauling or just for knocking around, my S10 Chevy pickup really knocks them down. It's my Chevy, it's my freedom, it's my truck.
The 1991 S10 Chevy Tahoe comes equipped with a 2.8 V6 engine and a trim package Toyota and Nissan just can't match, plus $1,000 cash back. Right now at your Tennessee, Kentucky Gold Medal Chevy Geo dealer.
It's my Chevy, it's my freedom, it's my truck.
Nobody beats Home Depot. Nobody. Home Depot will beat any price, any store, any identical item, any day. And low prices are just the beginning. Home Depot proudly features the complete line of Glidden Evermore interior and exterior paints. What's more, we'll mix hundreds of custom colors absolutely free.
When you're with us at Home Depot, you feel right at home.
The Greek goddess Athena represents wisdom, skill, and courage. Her spirit lives today in those who not only have the vision and persistence to excel, but who also reach out to open the way for others. Hi, I'm Karen Williams, president of NABO. March is Women's History Month, and to celebrate, Middle Tennessee's women's organizations will select a woman that best represents the spirit of Athena. You're invited to this presentation March 16th here at the Parthenon.
There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. No, there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. USA.
You know, Harry, yesterday in Centennial Park was such a special time, and I hope that the folks at home somehow get a feeling of what we felt being there and pride in America. Pride in America and pride in our men and women in the Gulf was evident yesterday on the stage and off the stage.
You know, Chris, and when you look at it from a music standpoint, there's one song that's kind of become the anthem of this war. It won a Grammy, as a matter of fact, this past week. It's a song recorded by Bette Midler, written by Julie Gold. It's called From a Distance. And that message came loud and clear when Bailey and the boys performed that song, which has become synonymous with this war.
And from a distance, you look like my friend, even though we are at war. And from a distance, I just cannot comprehend what all this fighting is for. And from a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land. And it's the hope of hope, it's the love of love, it's the heart of every man. And it's the hope of hope, it's the love of love, it's the heart of every man. And God is watching us, God is watching us, God is watching us from a distance. Oh, God is watching us, God is watching us, God is watching us from a distance.
Thank you very much. God bless.
I think it's amazing. I think it's been going on for months and months and months, but this is an incredible turnout today, and I'm very proud to be here. I was just in Illinois hours ago, and we came home especially for this, so.
When you're on the road, too, do you see this kind of support when you're on the road as well?
You know, since all the fighting has broken out, the support in the country has just been incredible. Everywhere we go, I think the patriotism and the spirit for the country and just the prayers of having everyone come home safely so that this thing can be ended, it's just been incredible.
We've been closing our show with God Bless America, and you know, you could hear a pin drop, and it's just amazing how everybody feels, and it's a close-knit thing, and I wish it was over, actually.
I don't know if Carl Wallace has it all together. Do you know Carl Wallace? You know Carl? Carl was telling me that they are dividing Iraq into two sections, smoking and non-smoking. I don't know where he gets that from. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Cash. That's him.
I walked through a county courthouse square, and on a park bench, an old man was sitting there. I said, "Your old courthouse is kind of run down." He said, "No, it'll do for our little town." I said, "Your old flagpole's kind of leaned a little bit, and that's a ragged old flag you got hanging on it." He said, "Have a seat," and I sat down. "Is this the first time you've come to our little town?" I said, "I think it is." He said, "I don't like to brag, but we're kind of proud of that ragged old flag." You see, we got a little hole in that flag there when Washington took it across the Delaware. And it got powder burned the night Francis Scott Key sat up watching it right in Can you see? Got a little rip in New Orleans with Pakenham and Jackson tugging at its seams. It almost fell at the Alamo beside the Texas flag, but she waved on, though. You got cut with a sword at Chancellorsville. Got cut again at Shiloh Hill. There was Robert E. Lee, Beauregard, Bragg, and the south wind blew hard on that ragged old flag. In Flanders Field in World War I, she took a bad hit from a Bertha gun. She turned blood red in World War II. She hung limp and low by the time that one was through. She was in Korea, Vietnam. She went where she was sent by her Uncle Sam. The Native American Indians, the blacks, brown, yellow, white, all shed red blood for the Stars and Stripes. And in her own good land here, she's been abused, she's been burned, dishonored, denied, refused, and the very government for which she stands has been scandalized throughout the land. And she's getting threadbare, and she's wearing kind of thin, but she's in good shape for the shape she's in, because she's been through the fire before, and she can take a whole lot more. So we raise her up every morning, and we bring her down slowly every night. She's waving in a place called Desert Storm, and we'll keep waving her back here at home. On second thought, I guess I do like to brag, because I'm mighty proud of that ragged old flag. It's a thing that just has consumed me, you know. I wake up every morning, I don't know how I feel, except I'm grieving for the ones that we've lost already, you know. And I really hate to see what's coming. And my heart goes out to the families and the loved ones that are here at home, waiting for them to come back. And I hope they all do come back safe.
In the letters you get, Johnny, what are they telling you? What do they say to you?
Well, they, you know, I get a lot of letters of appreciation for my support of them, because not everybody does support. But I don't understand that, Charlie. You know, if you're an American and you love living here and you pay tax, you know, how are you not going to support the 500,000 of our own people over there that are got their lives on the line for us? I don't understand anybody that doesn't support them, because they're sacrificing, they're tentatively sacrificing their lives for us. And I not only support them, I love them for it.
From a distance, the ocean meets the stream, and the eagle takes to fly.
What does comfortable living mean to you? Oakwood Homes. Where can you find affordable housing with quality construction? Oakwood Homes. Where are you guaranteed superior insulation, wiring, and plumbing? Oakwood Homes. You'll also find Oakwood Homes provide the security and safety features for peace of mind at an affordable price. Oakwood Homes, saluting those servicemen and women in the Persian Gulf and wishing them a quick and safe return.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash, donating my time as other entertainers have on behalf of Baptist Hospital. When my doctor told me I needed heart bypass surgery, he explained the procedure to me and my options, and I knew that heart surgery was the right choice and that my friends at Baptist would take good care of me. I made a few changes in my lifestyle now, like exercising and eating right, but it's been worth it. Thanks to Baptist for keeping a close watch on this heart of mine.
Why is the 1991 Honda Accord America's best-selling car for the second year in a row?
That's easy. It's Accord's great look.
I'd say dependability.
Smooth lines.
Accord's handling and response.
It's terrific trade-in value.
Or its very affordable price.
Now I'll buy that.
One thing's for sure, when it comes to value, America's in Accord. For the best deal on America's best-selling car, see your 5-star Honda dealer. Darrell Walter, Trickett, Honda Car Village, and Capital. And register to win a Hawaii vacation for 2.
The new Tide is Ultra Tide.
If you have a baby, you gotta try it.
Ultra small, ultra intensified.
I saw this tiny little scoop, and I thought, unbelievable. What can you expect with carrots planted this deep?
For cleaning deep down inside, new Tide is ultra powerful. One little scoop cleans down to the fiber itself.
Perfect. Out of sight.
The new Tide is Ultra Tide.
You gotta try it.
Let's put our hands together. Let's wave the flag in the air. And let's make some noise for the boys. Yeah! Woo! Yeah!
And that was the mood all day long. You couldn't wave the flag high enough, fast enough, far enough. It was just wonderful.
Yeah, another interesting thing, too, Chris, is up until the very last moment, country music stars kept volunteering for Operation Desert Star into those final moments. In fact, Hoyt Axton dropped by the Parthenon just before the curtain came down.
I will bank the fire, I will tend the flame, I will be the keeper of your name. I will hold the fort, and I will hold the phone, but I did not come here in vain. I have come for you. This is the soldier's run, you see. I have brought a Bible and a gun. My mama told me if you want to stay free, sometimes you gotta fight. I am here to prove my mama right. Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and John are here to bring me luck. If they don't do the trick, Smith & Wesson's gonna back me up. 'Cause I have come for you. This is the soldier's run, you see. I have brought a Bible and a gun. Forgot the words for just a second. I'll work on it. I will bank the fire and I will tend the flame. I will be the keeper of your name. I will hold the fort, and I will hold the phone. I did not come here in vain. I have come for you to ensure love's survival. I have brought a gun and a Bible. I have come for you. This is a soldier's run, you see. I have brought a Bible and a gun. I will bank the fire and I will tend the flame. I will be the keeper of your name. I will hold the fort and I will hold the phone. But I did not come here in vain. I did not come here in vain. I did not come here in vain. Thank you.
This day was something everyone wanted to be a part of, whether it was Hoyt Axton, a relative of a serviceman or woman, or those of us who are concerned about our friends and neighbors serving in Operation Desert Storm, Chris.
It was an outpouring of emotion unlike anything we've seen in a long time. Now, photographer Bart Bobentesta captured the spirit of this day.
Go ahead and try it.
Danny, zoom out slowly.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to Operation Desert Star.
I'm just so proud to be here.
I remember helping Daddy plant those fields, then watching the sun
burn up the yield.
I was born here in Tennessee. I caught a catfish at the age of 3. And I'm proud to be an American.
Are y'all ready? Well, I feel there's welling up cold and deep inside like March from a big break.
I'm an American boy. Grab me a Chevy, ain't got no Peugeot.
She's waving in a place called Desert Storm. And we'll keep waving her back here at home. Because I'm mighty proud of that ragged old flag.
You know, the overwhelming impression I got was a sense of community yesterday. Whether they were big stars or just average citizens showing up, we were one community for those few hours, and that was such a good feeling for all of us.
And what's the nice thing about this, Chris, is a videotape of this is going to be sent overseas to those people that are serving in Operation Desert Storm. It'll be nice for them to be able to see that support.
And we hope you enjoyed the program. Good night, everybody.
While serving in the Persian Gulf. As Channel 2 Celeste Bishop tells us, Norman Rainwater is the 6th Tennessean to pay the ultimate price for freedom.
Family, friends, and servicemen and women gathered at Nave's funeral home to pay final respects to Specialist Norman Rainwater. The 35-year-old Tennessee Guardsman was killed while serving with the 155th Engineer Company in Operation Desert Storm.
And as he was driving down what we called MSR Dodge, a rear tire blew out and the truck rolled over and he was killed in that accident.
Governor Ned McWhorter also came to pay tribute to the sacrifice Rainwater made for his country.
We've paid a price in Tennessee for the Gulf. We had a young man over in Johnson City, one in Nashville, one in Columbia, one over in McMinn County, a couple of weeks ago, one in Lynchburg, and now today here in Erwin.
The honor guard carried Specialist Rainwater's body here to his final resting place at the McDonald Cemetery. He is survived by his wife, Rita, and 2 sons. The flag from his coffin was presented to his wife as a lasting memory. Though Norman Rainwater is gone, the price he and others have paid fighting for freedom won't be forgotten.
Families and friends of a fallen soldier.
The scene was played out again today in Erin, Tennessee. A flag-draped coffin carrying the remains of specialist Norman Ray Rainwater was laid to rest.
This is like other tragedies. This is unfortunate. This gentleman was in a truck wreck there in the Persian Gulf. But this actually is 6 Tennesseans that I have helped bury. So the Gulf is, we've paid a price in Tennessee for the Gulf.
Specialist Rainwater was a member of Erin's 155th Engineering Detachment. Today, his comrades gave him one final salute.
Captain Brewer.
Tennessee called 5,500 of its citizen soldiers away from their families and civilian jobs for a duty of uncertain danger and duration in the Persian Gulf. They were people like Chris Brewer, a flight nurse with the 118th Aeromedical Evacuation Squadron.
And you think you'll be gone a year?
Well, that's what my orders say, so I hope not, but I prepare for the worst.
Across the United States, 240,000 reservists served in Desert Storm. Tennessee sent more reservists than any other state. Their jobs in Saudi would vary from the frontline medical units to the combat engineers who paved the way for the 101st to roll in across enemy lines.
The first troops into Iraq on the day of the war, and even the day before the war, was the 212th Engineer Company out of Dunlap and Moneagle. And when the 101st rolled across that hill, the first units they saw, the first people they saw, were not Iraqis, but with Tennessee National Guard.
The casualties were amazingly light. Only 2 Tennessee Guardsmen lost their lives during the war, neither in combat. But those who went faced experiences that would change their lives and their families' lives forever. It changed Harry Brailsford and his wife Carol, a former nursing home nurse who was sent to the middle of the action just behind the 101st.
I'm just glad to be here. I didn't think this would ever happen.
Look, Bear. Ready for a ride?
Life is more precious now, families more sacred. Chris Brewer, the flight nurse, likes the changes he went through.
I was on the fast track. I was trying to make a lot of money, and it's just not important anymore. It really is, it's not.
Brewer traded the fast track for a slow fishing boat, quitting his full-time job to spend more time with his wife and son.
Hey, don't drink the water now.
A 38 and a flak jacket made him realize what was important. Would he serve again? Brewer says yes, but only because he feels the American people appreciate the sacrifices and the qualifications of Tennessee's citizen soldiers. Nancy Amons, Channel 4 News.
5 of Middle Tennessee's best high school bands also answered the call to duty today. It was their music that gave the troops an extra bounce in their steps. We'll feature one of the bands when the Parade of Heroes continues.
How much we appreciate their jobs. But we must not forget the mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters who are still serving in the Gulf. May they soon return home with Godspeed. The Parade of Heroes won't be complete until they're all back home. I'm Dan McDaniel.
Treason is defeated. The war is over.
After the storm, a Channel 4 News special report on the struggle for peace in the Middle East. Reported from Iraq and Kuwait by Tom Lee. Photographed by Mark O'Neill.
For 12 centuries, the adhan has echoed across Kuwait. The ancient song calls Muslims to prayer 5 times each day. The prayers are humble. They ask Allah for guidance and wisdom to understand His will. According to Muslim law, only men can enter the mosque. Only men can offer their prayers for strength together as a community. In the Arab world, a woman must seek that strength on her own. Zohur al-Rayhan has grown accustomed to seeking strength on her own. 7 years ago, her husband divorced her. According to religious law, she had no say. She was left with 9 children, ages 1 to 15.
When they were very young, I said to myself, I shouldn't depend on anyone for anything. I should be powerful. Usually the man is strong and the woman is not. But I had to be both man and woman, so I had to be strong.
When the Iraqi army invaded Kuwait, Zohur's strength met a violent test. Iraqi troops arrested her oldest son, Abdullah, beat him, and dumped him on Zohur's doorstep. When Zohur saw what had happened to Abdullah, she screamed. That alerted another son, Ali, who was across the street.
And when he heard me scream, he came running, and because he was wrapping his clothes around his waist, they thought he was carrying something, so they shot him with 5 bullets. He was running. They were shooting him until he fell down in front of me, as close as you and I are now. I saw my son die in front of my eyes.
The occupation was barely a week old, and Zohur had already lost a son, and her youngest children had seen it all.
They saw their brother when the Iraqis shot him. The 11-year-old daughter kept screaming and crying hysterically, so they took her to the hospital.
That was 9 months ago. Shema, the little girl who was hospitalized with grief, now teaches her brothers and sisters because there is no school. Her oldest brother, Abdullah, was recaptured soon after Ali's murder. No one has seen him since. Zohur is fasting until he returns.
It's hard to endure such a thing, but what else can I do? He left his education to support our family, and then he was taken from me. I feel that everything went away.
As with many Kuwaiti families, recovery for Zohur has become a full-time job.
Frankly, our injuries are very deep.
The Iraqi occupation affected Dr. Jassim Al-Hassan, a Kuwaiti biochemist, in a different way.
The Gulf is beautiful and rich with life. Corals, mud flats, sandy beaches, rocky beaches. It's just an amazing world, beautiful world.
That world no longer exists. Iraqi bombs exploded pipelines and disabled supertankers. Millions of barrels of oil are still flowing into the Persian Gulf. By one estimate, the equivalent of an Exxon Valdez oil spill every 4 days. His life's work, the Kuwaiti environment, was destroyed.
What we have there is a complete devastation. Oil everywhere on the beaches, and nobody can clean the beaches because the oil has settled down on the seabed. It has killed the seagrass, which is a very important environment for crabs, shrimp, and small fish.
In the desert, sabotaged oil wells are now sources for toxic rivers of crude. The oil in man-made trenches, oil the Iraqis planned to set ablaze to slow Allied troops, now is settling into fragile sands.
The table water content has changed, so it must be mixed with crude oil now. The vegetation is gone. The animals that live in that area have gone, and I think it's just a disaster.
And smoke from the oil well fires makes even breathing a struggle.
When I go up in the air in the helicopter or through the desert, you just feel sick. And you get a tightness in your chest, you feel you cannot breathe, you feel something affecting your eyes and your sinuses. No, well, don't tell me that is normal. That's not normal. Our system is not designed to handle breathing oil or grease or soot or compounds that are basically toxic. Kuwait maybe could never be put back or brought back to its natural old shape. This environment is very fragile, and to topple it in this way just was a criminal act, and they enjoyed doing it.
On a windy day, you have to watch for the falling and flying galvanized metal.
The Iraqis also damaged Kuwait's man-made environment.
But you can see what's happened to the building.
Tommy McReynolds is a Nashvilleian with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. He's in Kuwait to help assess the nation's structural damage.
It's an eerie feeling to walk down, and you don't know for sure whether you ought to be there.
The Allies bombed these buildings to flush out Iraqi troops living inside. But that was after the Iraqis had looted the warehouses. All they left were empty shelves.
In the shops and stores, the schools, you know, every building, you name it, everything was taken.
What the Iraqis did not steal, they torched. Auto showrooms became crematoriums. The heat melted $100,000 cars into $100 scrap heaps. And once thriving, downtown Kuwait is virtually a ghost town.
You've got the shell of the structures there, but you don't have life. You've got a body there of a city, but no lifeblood flowing.
2 months after the country's liberation, cleanup is rare. Neither the government nor the merchants have organized any kind of downtown rebuilding. The same is evident in neighborhoods where the Iraqis looted nearly every home. This 30-room mansion still bears the Iraqis' mark. Concrete blocks fill what once were windows, leaving only a peephole for a gun barrel. Rooftop vistas include abandoned anti-aircraft cannons. And along the Persian Gulf, Iraqi barricades against a marine invasion that never happened continue to hold the water hostage, separating the Kuwaitis from the sea that once sustained them.
For us, Kuwait became a very big prison. So we are injured, and I think it's going to take us many, many years for those injuries to heal, if these will heal ever.
The jewel that was once Kuwait City now has fault lines, cracks in its structures, cracks in its psyche, and lessons to be learned between the lines.
The Iraqis seem to spend their money and their wealth from the oil wells on their military. Now that's been diminished, it's not gone. And Kuwait spent a great deal of money on their city, and that's been destroyed. So maybe we learned that money is not to be able to buy those things that last.
Coming up next, meet the Tennesseans caring for Desert Storm's most helpless victims. A story of compassion and frustration after the storm. I was...
Oh, okay, he still feels hot. He came to us from the refugee camp, where he was just put out to die. The mother didn't have any milk. And I'd say she was starving too and couldn't produce any milk because she was so dehydrated. Kind of like they're our baby for right now. And now I've got to find a muscle to pick us in. He's got one. Oh, God, he's so little.
Army records say his name is Baby One, an abandoned child of an anonymous Iraqi mother. He's malnourished, has diarrhea, and a fever of 105 degrees. Without intensive medical attention, Baby One will die within days.
Parents give them dirty water because that's all they've got. So they get horrendous infections, especially intestinal. And then they get really sick like this. That's the most of what we've seen, are dehydrated, starving babies.
They are the most helpless of refugees.
Was it tight in the skin for you? Well, he's tough little skin.
Clinging to life requires nearly all the strength some of them have left.
Some that we've seen were like hours away. And others, like him, he's little, but if we can get some antibiotics in him, he'll do real well. Then we have to find somebody to take him home. Not us, I mean somebody here, because he doesn't have anywhere to go. He is a good guy. We thought we'd be treating trauma, landmines and artillery wounds and GIs, just the terrible wounds. We ended up doing pediatrics and OBGYN for the most part, delivering babies and taking care of these sick little ones.
The end of the war has brought a steady stream of children to this field hospital 7 miles from the Iraqi border. They've come to the 912th MASH, a Tennessee Army Reserve unit from Johnson City, a place of healing in the midst of horrific destruction. Some of Nurse Teresa Orton's patients here are injured. Some are ill. Some just need medical care that's no longer available inside Iraq.
Now I had to get somebody to draw some blood on this little fella. I was just trying to think and see if we had a baby on this one. We've got a baby everywhere else.
Baby day, huh?
Baby day, every day.
On this baby day, a single GI shares the emergency room with 6 infants. No one knows whether they were made refugees by American or Iraqi bombs. To the tiny faces on the examining tables, it doesn't much matter.
6 months, 6 months. The very people who hated our guts and thought we were the, I've heard the great Satan and everything, are the ones who are running to us as a last resort, and they think we can do anything. I mean, they kiss our uniforms, they hang on our hands, they cry on our shoulder. We're their last hope. It's a big responsibility.
Okay, here we go.
To the men and women of the 912th, there is a limit to that responsibility and a limit to what they can do about it.
Anything that we do here is probably not going to be very long-lasting, you know, simply because they're going to be going back to substandard living conditions where they don't have proper food, proper shelter, proper nutrition, or proper care for the infants.
He looks better already.
It sounds like heresy to suggest that baby one is lucky, but at least he's here. At least someone intervened to ease his suffering. Not every child has been that fortunate.
Dee, where's Bobby?
In only her second day as a refugee camp nurse, Jan Jekyll is learning a lesson she could never appreciate in the comfort of her Brentwood home.
Excuse me. Yeah. We have a problem. We have a dead baby.
Oh.
Okay.
What do we do about Bobby?
I don't know. Where's the... Come here.
Do we have access to a shovel?
Certainly, because they've been digging...
As a father makes a lonely walk to dig a fresh grave, as a mother carries a tiny corpse, it is painfully clear the victims of war are not just those who fight on the battlefield.
Hi, kids.
3 years ago, Jan Jekyll practiced nursing at Southern Hills Hospital in Nashville. After 31 years of marriage and a relatively peaceful nursing career, she divorced, left the hospital, and became a traveling nurse for the Red Cross.
We've been at the camp long enough now that it's our neighborhood. And in fact, that's literally what, you know, we've been going through. Well, let's take a tour through the neighborhood today. No. All right, what is her problem?
His stomach hurt.
Her stomach hurts. I have skills that I feel like I can share in making someone's life better. Has she been down to the doctor? When she uses a rag on one eye, she does not use it on the other eye. Who is not giving her the food? The main thing is you just need to listen. Some people get food and some people are not getting food. We will try and get the food situation straightened out. All right? This was something we had to evaluate at the beginning. And the Saudis are the ones that right now are doing the food distribution. Do you know why they're not giving it out to the women? Why they're not giving it out faster? As I get to know the people more and realize, I mean, they're just like you and I. It would be as if you and I did not have a homeland anymore. And we're living in those two-man little blue tents and having to go stand in line for every drop of water, every piece of food.
In their minds, they think it will be finished. No food, no more food. They want food. They become greedy. They want everything.
It is greed prompted by fear. Fear that the food will run out before the line does. Fear that standing in line for a handout is becoming a way of life.
We are not interested about food. We are looking after our humanity.
When 11 people eat, sleep, and live in a single canvas tent, it is not easy to maintain a sense of humanity. That's the challenge facing Saleh Farhan and Ali Kader's families. A year ago, they were neighbors. In the turmoil following the war, they somehow found each other at a refugee camp near Safwan, Iraq.
The problem is that there is a lot of people coming here, and the water is not enough for all people.
Now, instead of getting an education, these two high school students are fetching water, coming to grips with the fact that their school days are over.
They didn't give me any chance to work, to have a job, although I can read and I can write. If they didn't give me the chance to work, I'll be obliged to be a criminal.
As every additional day passes, as the chances of going home diminish, Ali and Saleh have less hope.
I know I don't have any future in this camp, no education, no anything. Our children are not able to stay anymore in these camps. It is very hot, you know, the summer in Kuwait is very hot. Children are suffering now. I have no future. I need a future.
I will go back a different person, more thankful for our freedom. How are you? You okay? Bye.
You know, we won't always be here, and I don't know where they'll go from here. I think the Red Cross is working out something for them up there at the refugee camp. It's hard to turn them back out, though, and just let them go back out, knowing there's nothing you can do.
Mark M. Bowden of Elizabethton, Tennessee, works outside the hospital, but he is doing what he can, visiting the pediatrics ward whenever possible.
It's just unreal to see them. They have kind of half-closed eyes, and if you stand there and look at them, they seem kind of lifeless, and there's a lot of worries that people are having as to what's going to happen to the children.
Mark decided to bring some measure of peace to young lives that have known only war. He wrote them a lullaby.
Hush, little baby, don't fret now. I long to kiss your tender brow and make your fear subside tonight and turn all your wrongs to right. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. Your tears, they end up in my eyes, my heart so full of love for thee. Accept this love from me.
In a moment, hell on earth, the Kuwaiti oil fields, where one war has led to another. That's next, after the storm.
That will carry the mud.
Y'all got some asbestos cut already?
George Hill supervises the preparation of the Stinger, a tapered iron rod that will enter the fire and, he hopes, plug the hole that's spewing 30,000 barrels of oil a day.
Come on, Budrow, put out. Quit putting on. Put a little tighter on it. That looks good. Well, let's try to shut them down. Let's give it a shot. Let's go for it.
The fire is too loud to hear over. George communicates with hand signals, guiding a 20-ton dozer, boom, and eventually Stinger into the flame.
Just getting a matter of getting straight on it. You got to get in there pretty straight so you don't have so many adverse angles to fool with.
For 11 years, this has been his life, fighting fires like this for a Houston company called Wild Well Control. The fire is out, but the job isn't done.
I think we're going to change stinger tips and try a little bit more of a flare. That there's not getting a good enough deal around the top. Still got too big of a leak. We're not getting enough mud down the hole. Don't look near as bad when it ain't burning, does it? Don't like that. I know it. About 15 degrees of the boom. That's too straight. We're going to turn it just there, right here. About 12 degrees, and that ought to be just right.
They readjust the Stinger. The next time it enters the well, the fit must be tight enough to stop the gusher.
That looks good right there. Darryl?
Just stand around and get it in the hole.
Fine. You like that? That'll work. That'll work. I just hope it'll do it with a weight on it. God damn, bud. All right.
Victory. The well is sealed with cement. The only signs of the fight that just ended? Mud boiling on the 300-degree desert floor.
We're going to get Dauber to cut us out some little fires, and we're going to weld them on the boom. 9 of them, though.
One more notch on the dozer. The Burgan oil field, home to most of the fires, is about 25 miles south of Kuwait City. The Iraqis blew up wells there and in 4 other oil fields, including one near their own border. Some 600 wells are out of control. The Kuwaitis say the fires cost them $120 million a day, a total of $8.5 billion so far. The Wild Well crew makes its way across the oil field to take on its greatest challenge so far, the watchtower. When the Iraqis blew this well, the explosion damaged the wellhead. It's now at an angle. That makes stinging and capping the well much more difficult. 3 times before, Wild Well has tried to sting it. Each time, the fire has won.
What keeps bringing you back to it? It's a challenge. Make you want to do it. You want to get it done. You want to walk off. You don't want to turn your back on none of them things and have to look over your shoulder and say, well, I wish we'd have got that one. That's a bad feeling. First time you sit down on the back half of the flange, and the second time you sit down behind the flange. Picked up and pulled into it. The third time you sit down was just like the first time we did it. The angle's good. We might just have to come back just a tad more, you know, say another inch.
This time, rolling the Stinger another inch closer turns up an unexpected problem.
Whoa!
It's the wrong Stinger. It fits inside the well, but not tightly enough to plug it.
Well, that's a bit, I don't know if we was in it as good as we was a while ago.
The score is Watchtower 5, Wild Well nothing. Seems time to quit.
I didn't do anything. This ain't gonna work. It's gonna move over there to that. Yeah, 'cause I think it got a better seal than it did then. Yeah.
There will be one more try at the Watchtower. If it fails, George Hill will have to do what he hates.
I hate to give up on one worse than anything, but some you just got to walk off and leave because it just won't go. You wear yourself out trying to get them. That ground ain't cooled off none. It's hotter than by God up there. Oh, yeah. Hear that little joker sizzle.
There should be days like this.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, we stay at it and have a good time. That's for sure. Can't have no fun. Ain't no use being here. Right off? Yep. Good feeling. Makes it all worthwhile. Kind of gives you a winning feeling, it really does. Kind of feel like you're on top. All right.
10 down, 590 to go.